Miracle Pictures?
Welcome to Miracle Pictures, where they make a picture a week. And if it's a good picture, it's a miracle.
You're not afraid of sex, are you?
Dagmar's Hot Pants Inc. What a business.
I'm waiting.
Once upon a time, there was a beach.
You were at the beach in this van at Wayward Cove yesterday afternoon.
No way, Craig. My grandmother took the van to Bonneville for the time trials yesterday.
Trying to have a good time,
I sure would like to get some of that myself.
as only kids can.
It's my father. Listen, you gotta get out of here. You gotta get out of here.
Okay.
Look, go before I get killed. Wait, you can't do me like that.
So there were cops, and there was trouble.
One ticket wasn't enough for you today, huh?
Knock yourself out, man. I need some toilet paper.
Someday I'm gonna shoot your nuts off.
Hi, I'm Candy.
You're an actress. Well, you came to the right place, kid.
Hollywood Boulevard, the street where starlets are made. Overnight.
In this scene, your motivation is to be...
stay alive.
Bill!
He's dead for real. TG, you just don't understand. People are dying.
Hey, that's showbiz.
Everybody's doing it now. Let's do it.
More of that.
Anything can happen on Hollywood Boulevard.
Shylock may claim a pound of flesh.
Surely the entire might of the London police force can prevent us from being killed.
We shall see. I will grind your bones to dust.
What's the next murder, Inspector?
Intended murder, you mean, Sergeant? Stop, I haven't finished yet.
Never mind the bollocks, here's Horror Mike.
Greetings to you all on this fine Friday evening. Welcome to the Horror Mike Show. Oh, yes, and boy, do we have one hell of a show lined up for you tonight. Folks, you've just seen some trailers, and if you watched all those, you got a little inkling of what is in store for you tonight. You know, the last couple of weeks, we've had guests on with the comic books and stuff. Of course, Brian Baugh with Wolf and Batsy, who I absolutely highly recommend that you check out. Check out the videos on my channel. See his art. It's fantastic. Also, Fabrizio Aiello with Horace H. Hoover. But, you know, a lot of comic book stuff and far less of the movie stuff. Well, that's changing tonight, my good fiends, because this tonight, this Friday evening is going to be a blitzkrieg of freaking sci-fi, horror, and exploitation films, primarily from the 1970s and 80s. There are going to be a few other eras involved tonight, and I think you're going to agree that those kind of fit in. There's a certain thing that they all come together. So get ready. Fasten your seatbelts, or don't. Wear a helmet or not. It doesn't really matter that much, but you may want to think about it. Because we're about to take an excursion into exploitation land, one from which we may never return. Greetings, my fine fiends, and welcome to the Horror Mike Show. Without further ado, let's check out the chat, shall we? See who's in. By the way, of course, what you in the trailers, what you just saw, of course, we started with a couple of my films, Horror Anthology Movie Volume 1, which is for rent for $2, folks, on Amazon. You can't beat it. It's 2 hours long, 6 segments, no filler, all meat, sci-fi horror. You're going to dig the hell out of it. I'll get the link in the chat shortly. Then, of course, you saw the trailer to my film, First Man on Mars, which is a tribute to the 1970s drive-in creature features. Shot on 16-millimeter film, folks. And that is available on Blu-ray. And it's currently on my website. You can get it directly from my site or via eBay as well. I believe it's also on Amazon. So you got 3 different platforms you can get it from. Then I put together a little trailer for you guys of some prime spicy exploitation flicks and horror flicks that we're going to be taking a look at tonight, including, of course, the last part of that series, which was Theater of Blood, starring Vincent Price and Diana Rigg. And Vincent Price once said that Theater of Blood was perhaps his favorite film that he ever starred in. And it is a fantastic flick. It is on Tubi. If you haven't seen it, you need to check it out. It is a fantastic horror film. It's got everything. It's a great horror comedy. The acting is superb all the way around. Highly recommended. And then a smattering of other exploitation films, which we're going to get to soon, folks. But it's happening. It's all happening. My good fiends. Let's go to the chat now. Without further ado. Good Lord. Okay. My God. Let's cruise on up. Fireball Comics is here. Hello, Fireball. How you doing? Thumbnail, Diana Rigg, and Vincent Price. You've got it. That is Theater of Blood. Diana Rigg in a little disguise there. And, of course, she's sexy anyways. Okay? She's sexy with a mustache and a beard. I don't care what anybody says. The always vivacious Diana Rigg, starring with Vincent Price in Theater of Blood, folks. We're going to take a good look at that one tonight because it's on Tubi and it is a great film. Michael Taylor is here. Hello, Michael Taylor. Great to see you. Easy Comic Reader is on the scene. Hello, Easy Comic Reader. FST George is here. Hello, FST George. Great to see you. Joe is here. Joe, good Lord, man. It is good to see you on this fine Friday night. Werewolf by Lunchtime is here. Hello, Werewolf by Lunchtime. How about those stock tips? How's the future, Werewolf? You are 13 hours into the future. And so I'd like to get a few stock tips from you later on, if we may be so kind to do that. Devil Flyer Momentum is here. Hello, Devil Flyer. FST George, he's got a little ghost thing going. That's good. That's good. Jacob Bornowski is here. Hello, Jacob. Great to see you, man. How are you doing, my good sir? Jacob says, must be Friday evening. Indeed it is. It's Friday evening, my good man, as we will discover soon on the Horror Mike Show. PBR Street Gang is here. Hello, PBR. Great to see you, my good man. Werewolf by Lunchtime says, my splash of horror arrived yesterday, and a very fine read it is, too. That is fantastic news, Werewolf. I hope you got the extra little thing I kind of tossed in there. I hope that made it as well, my good man. And indeed, look, if you know, once again, and I'm saying this sincerely to everybody that, you know, liked the book, at least maybe, or even parts of the book, or really loved the book, or perhaps even hated it. Splash of Horror. Within the book, there is a introduction by me. At the end of the introduction, I state that I'm, for the next issue, volume, whatever you want to call it, which is going to be out sometime in June, I'm going to have a letters to the editor section. So I would appreciate it if you guys send a you know, just whatever, a comment, a couple of lines of commentary, you know, perhaps pros and cons, what you'd like to see more of, perhaps what you'd like to see less of. And it'll go in print in the next issue, you know. So that is splashofhorror@ghostclinic.com. That is the email address, my good fiends. Glad to hear you got it, Werewolf. That is fantastic news. Michael Taylor says 60s campy Godzilla. Yes, that particular sequence was from a great comedy called Hollywood Boulevard, starring Mary Warrenoff. Woohoo! Ooh la la, Sassoon is what I'm saying right there about Mary Warrenoff. One of my, she's just one of those off Hollywood actresses that, of course, you know, she pretty much made her claim to fame with Roger Corman films such as Death Race 2000. Did a great movie with Paul Bartel called Eating Raoul, and others. You know, I mean, there's a lot. She did quite a few films. She stars in Hollywood Boulevard, and so does Paul Bartel, by the way, and a ton of other people. Dick Miller is in there. We're going to take a closer look at that as well. But that was from Hollywood Boulevard, and they got the 60s campy Godzilla in there with the bikini-clad babe. Absolutely hilarious. Commander Cody rocks. Yes, I concur, Easy Comic Reader. Can you believe they're in that movie? They're in Hollywood Boulevard, folks. I mean, it's just a cavalcade of cameos by just various people, you know, in kind of in the Corman world, the Roger Corman world. It's fantastic. It is on Tubi. I highly recommend it. You're going to have a great time. Let's put it that way. It is just hilarious. FST George, yes, the sleeping bag. We've got to have it every week, folks. I think that has to be a tradition. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I think you guys dig that little clip. Hot Rod Lincoln, yes. Indeed. Kevin Hellon is here. Hello, Kevin. Great to see you, my good man. You know, Kevin had brought up last week, or either last week or the week before that on a live show. He had mentioned the Alien movie premiere in 1979, which we both attended together. You know, we went and saw it. It opened, I believe this is how it went. It opened on May 25th, 1979. That was a Friday night. They had the premiere. And then I believe Kevin and I went that Saturday, the next day, for like a noon show. It was during the day, as I recall. They had props on display. If you haven't seen the video that I just put out yesterday, check it out. It's really interesting. It's got great photos, some of which were taken by William Malone. I don't know if you're aware of William Malone. He's a filmmaker. He did a couple of segments for Masters of Horror and Tales from the Crypt. He also did this really great 1980 film, which is alien-esque. It is definitely kind of an alien takeoff a bit, called Scared to Death. And I highly recommend it. It was on Tubi for a long time. I don't know if it's on there now. But in any case, William Malone was there at the premiere. He snapped some great photos. Incredible display of props that were used in the film, including the space jockey. The thing was gigantic. I mean, right in the lobby courtyard area. A bunch of other stuff. There was corridors Nostromo corridors from the film, the ship. You could walk through the corridors. This is all in the freaking lobby. And so Kevin and I were just hanging out, like checking it out thoroughly. And so we didn't go into the theater immediately. But when we got into the theater, there were very few seats. We found a couple of seats in the second row. This was like 70 millimeter curved screen, folks, for the Egyptian Theater in Hollywood. This was the world premiere. Keep in mind, it was at the Egyptian. That's when it happened. So fortunately we took in the props. It was fantastic. And I'm glad we did, because a couple of days later, Tuesday morning in the wee hours, some nut job, arsonist, went in and he torched the space jockey and a couple of other props. I think the egg chamber props that were in there, and they removed the display, and that was it. It only lasted 4 days. And this arsonist, or possibly group of arsonists, it was never made clear. Weird story, I'll tell you. Of course, only in Hollywood, folks. That's it. That's all I'm saying. So that is the last video on my channel. Check it out if you get a chance. It's really interesting. It's something that nobody knows about. It never made national news to my knowledge for some reason. I mean, we were just we're living in Orange County and Los Angeles, Southern California. And of course it was, people were talking about it there, but I guess it just never was considered that big of a deal, even though, as you will see in the video, Starlog magazine, which was pretty big for a while, for years, that was a big publication. A few months later, they had an article about that, what happened, still kind of vague once again with their reporting and everything, but it's just a weird thing, but definitely, as far as I'm concerned, the greatest premiere opening for a movie I've ever been to. I never have seen anything like it since. No doubt about that. It was fantastic. So that is on the channel. Check it out if you can. FST George, envious of that mug, Horror Mike. You can get these kind of cheaply. I believe I picked this up a while back. I want to say I actually found this at Walmart for like $5. It was pretty cheap, but yeah, I like it. It's great. It's got that certain skull look about it. The black skull. Arr. And I'm actually drinking some Pinot Noir in that black skull. So there you go, folks. It's been a long week. Let's put it that way. Werewolf says, my cat Rico has joined me for the show. He's becoming a fan, folks. The animal kingdom is drawn to Horror Mike as well. That's a good thing. It's a very good thing. Atomic batteries to fire, turbines to speed. Roger, ready to move out, folks. That's what Michael Taylor is saying right now. PBR says, hey, Horror Mike, what is the music video that you show at the end of your show? Lots of hotties dancing to the surf, beach music. Yeah, it's Linda. The song is called Linda, and it's by the Starfires. So just on YouTube, look up Linda by the Starfires. That is one hell of a freaking tune right there. And it's a great video too. It's fantastic. Just stunning babes dancing in like what you would think would be like a late 60s, I guess mid to late 60s video. That's what I want to say. Somewhere in there. I mean, whoa. Just one of my favorites. Great tune too, man. The Starfires. They rocked. They were a rockin' combo. That's saying a lot coming from Price. It is. Yeah, I mean, look at how many films the guy has done, and certainly a ton of great films. There is no doubt about it. And he kind of famously said that was. Now, I don't know if he meant that was the greatest film he was ever in, but he said it was his favorite film he ever acted in. Okay, so obviously he loves it. There's no doubt about that. And I think it is definitely one of his greatest films. It's a fantastic film. There's no doubt about it. It's way up there, I would say, in the horror echelons. The people just love it, and for good reason. Werewolf says, everyone in the chat just shaved off their mustache and beards. Woohoo! Werewolf by lunchtime. Yes, thanks for the freebie and nice bonus. Okay, you're very welcome. Michael Taylor says, Mike, Captain Strangelove started his new video shouting out Splash of Horror. Showed it and was talking about how well it was done. Yes, I saw that. As a matter of fact, I have talked to the captain. Okay, I've talked to the good captain. And I think with some luck, okay, so we've been talking, right? We're going to see about getting him on the show. We've been talking about doing another live show from his headquarters as well, Michael Taylor, coming up soon. So let's see how that plays out. We're just kind of in the, we've been kicking it back and forth, but I got a good feeling about that one. I think it's going to happen. We're going to see the captain on the show sooner than later. Michael Taylor says, I liked Starlog. Yes, indeed. Starlog was great. Of course, Starlog, Fangoria, Cinemagic, folks, Cinemagic, originally from the one and only Don Dohler, who has a film on Tubi tonight that we're going to take a closer look at. Can you guess which one? It's a good one. Well, it's Don Dohler, man. Michael Taylor says, Mike, I did the Batman bit because you said fasten your seatbelts. Batman and Robin would put on their seatbelts as they were saying it. Yes. Safety first, Michael Taylor. That's what I'm saying right there, folks. All right. This is what's going on, my good fiends. First, there's just a couple of things I want to show you. They're comic book related, but I just want to show them to you. I'm not going to show much. You guys may be familiar with these. This is interesting because, okay, it's an issue of Eerie, okay? I'm going to get it out of here. God, I think it's issue number 10. I believe. I think. In any case, okay, from the 1960s, this is Eerie from Super Comics. And kind of a weird cover, to tell you the truth. I could take it or leave it. But it's what's inside that is really quite astonishing, which is why I got this. And I got a really good deal on it, so I'm very happy with that. This reprints an early 1950s edition of Star Publications' Ghostly Weird Stories with Jay Disbrow art. Check out that Jay Disbrow splash page, folks, for The Unknown Presence. Now, that's how you grab people. That's all there is to it. I mean, that is one hell. He was just so great with splash pages. The guy, the stuff in Star Publications is fantastic. He's got this one called The Ghoul. Another really cool one. People menaced by this creature in the mountains. Really, really quite nice indeed. But also in this, I mean, if it couldn't get any better, folks, it's Terror of the Green Faces. Yes. Can you guess who it is? Yeah, that's Basil Wolverton. right there. And this is, what the hell's the guy's name? Captains. Oh, yeah, Space Hawk. Yeah. Let me find a draw. Yeah, that is kind of odd. Well, you can see him there. Basil Wolverton, Space Hawk. So this is really quite good. I mean, of course, trying to get the original Star Publications Ghostly Weird Stories, that's going to cost you like an arm and a leg. This one cost me $10. It's in pretty good shape. You know, it's totally intact. It's kind of beat up a bit, but you know, it certainly beats paying, you know, $300 or $400 for the original. So that's a new one. I just got a couple more to show you before we get to tubing. I just got to show you these real quick, guys. Check this out. Yes, it's Ghoul Tales. Oh, yes. Check out that cover. Once again, this is from Stanley Morse. Oopsie daisy. God, love that. Okay. Stanley Morse, late 1960s, 1970, 69, 70. And it's Stanley Morse reprinting his pre-code comics that he published in the early 1950s. So they're just straight reproductions. Some of the most, there's some fantastic freaking stories in this. This one you're gonna see this one in Splash of Horror. The Voice of Doom. Yes, folks, it's about a parrot that's like to talk. You know what I'm saying? And hubby doesn't like it. That's what's going on with The Voice of Doom. Really cool stuff by Stanley Morse. So we're going to be seeing a bit of this in future volumes of Splash of Horror. There's no doubt about it. I'm going to be doing a video on this as well because it's definitely worthwhile. Next up, this is just great. Okay, that's 1970. This is 1969. Right here, folks. I picked up a few more Eerie Publications Terror Tales. Oh, yes. Now check out that freaking cover. Oh, yes, the ghoulish, gory, graphic covers of the Myron Foss Eerie Publications Terror Tales. And once again, these were reprints of pre-code horror comics. And so what you would have, like for instance with this, that is so cool. Like, this is just I think this is pretty much a straightforward. It may be embellished a little bit. Sometimes he just printed them straightforward. And I think this one, the Phantom Express, doesn't really have much in the way of revision in the art on it. Really quite cool. But then, let's find one that, oh yeah, this one is just way the hell out. I've got this. This is The Deadly Ghouls, which originally appeared in an issue of Voodoo Comics, early 1950s, circa 1952, 53. And as you can see here, it's called The Deadly Ghouls. Pretty cool looking splash page. Interesting. You've got this plane flying into a cemetery and then this ghoulish creature looking on. Well, check it out. In the first place, in the original story, it was called The Golden Ghouls. And there was no ghoul. There was no ghoul in the splash page. It was just plane flying into a cemetery. That was it. A rather boring splash page. So in reality, Myron Foss and crew really made the splash page much more interesting than it originally appeared in the issue of Voodoo comic book. So there you go. So this is coming up too. There's going to be some good stuff on Splash of Horror with that one. And one more issue, folks. One more of Terror Tales. I don't even understand this cover. It's like this vampire. He's got the saw. He's sawing this lady in half, but she's a robot. As you can see, her midsection there, she's obviously a robot. Don't know what the hell's going on there. But once again, pre-code on the inside. Let me show you a real good page or a good splash page. Let's talk splash pages, folks. This is pretty good. 2 on the Isle of Death. Pretty groovy. Now, he didn't do too much to this one either. This is an original. He didn't really mess with the art too much. He's got like the skulls dripping blood, or they're drooling, or I don't know what the hell, which wasn't in the original. But other than that, I don't think he did much with the art to change it. But there's some good ones in this. So we're going to see more of that in the near future, folks. There's my little show and tell. I had to get that going for you guys. I had to get it out of the way because, it's some interesting stuff that I thought you might want to take a gander at. Okay, here we go. Zoot-doody, yeah, zoot-doody-doo. There we go. Well, all right. There we go. Even better. Now, as I was saying, for the majority of the films we're going to see tonight on Tubi that have just been added, I would say, yeah, as I was saying, majority, 80%, 70, 80%, are 1970s sci-fi horror and or exploitation films. There are a smattering of, like, for instance, there's a 1950s film here. There's a 2000 film here, 2008, as you can see, Warzone Punisher sitting there. And so there's a smattering of stuff all over the place, but for the most part, it's all 70s and 80s exploitation sci-fi horror tonight, folks. Before we jam into that, let's check out the chat because I saw some people commenting. Michael Taylor says, cool, eerie number 10. Very cool cover, fantastic splash pages. Thank you, Michael Taylor. Yes, they are great. Ghoul Tales is another great one from Stanley Morris. Ghoul Tales cover. FST, George, absolutely looking forward to seeing that Ghoul Tales in your next volume. Yes, indeed. A few things will be in there, FST, George. You can count on it. Very cool. Voice of Doom story. It is hilarious, Michael Taylor. Now, if you guys, I can tell you right now, if you go to comicbookplus.com, okay, they have a lot of scanned stories, pre-code stories online, and you do a lookup for probably for Voice of Doom, you're going to find it, and you can read it. It's on there, and it's a great one. I love it because it's funny too. It's a funny little horror story. FST George, too awesome. I've never seen any of those books in person, but love that twisted art. Yes. Michael Taylor, cool. Phantom Express splash page. Indeed. I like it too. Cool Deadly Ghouls splash page. Yes. Isle of Death, very good as well. Yeah, they added Taxi Driver. Folks, yeah, that's one of the ones. No doubt about that. Steve Harrison is here. Hello, Steve Harrison. Great to see you, my good man. You just got in here in time, just about to start the kick off the what will be a large, lengthy Tubi dive tonight, because of course we missed it last week. So we're doubling your Tubi pleasure tonight, folks. That's what I'm saying right now. All right, guys. So as you can see here, we start off with a film. It's from the 50s. It came from outer space. We weren't able to get to it last week, unfortunately. It's a fantastic film, starring Richard Carlson. Of course, he also starred in Creature from the Black Lagoon and numerous other films. I believe Tarantula as well. Dramas, horror, comedy, science fiction. He was all over the place. Excellent actor, just superb back in the day. But it came from outer space. It was originally from Story, and I believe the screenplay was also written by Ray Bradbury. And it's a great tale of, I don't want to call it alien invasion as much, but kind of like alien infiltration on a certain level. I don't want to give it away, but it's an excellent film. I highly recommend it. It just came on Tubi like less than 2 weeks ago. So it's pretty new on Tubi. And here is the trailer.
Ladies and gentlemen, the events that I'm about to describe are going to sound incredible to most people, but I know they happened. I saw them happen. They happened to me. One night, not very long ago, my fiancée and I saw a meteor-like object flash through the sky and fall to Earth in the Arizona desert. I was the first one to go into the smoking pit where it landed. The only one to realize that this meteor was a spaceship. I looked into it. I alone knew that the beings it carried, formless, terrifying beings from outer space, planned to conquer the world. And so fiendishly, by entering into the bodies and minds of captured human beings. Wouldn't it be a fine trick if I weren't really John Putnam at all? But something from another world come here to give you a lot of false leads. What do you want? What are you doing? Let me see you as you really are. No, you're not Ellen. You've got Ellen's clothes, but you're not Ellen.
Folks, that's how you make a trailer. Okay. God, people that make films today, and you see a lot of these new films on Tubi, Man, they need to go to trailer making school. That's all I'm saying right now. It's just astounding what some of these people do for trailers. In any case, that is It Came from Outer Space. Highly recommended. It's on Tubi. Check it out. Unfortunately, I can't say that much about Alligator 2 People Nothing. Okay. That is AKA Alligator 2 The Mutation, 1991. I kept it in here. I was going to yank it, but I thought, what the hell? Keep it in because, look, Alligator from 1980, written by John Sayles, is a great film. It is a great horror comedy. If you're not aware, John Sayles also wrote the screenplays for The Howling and for Piranha, the original Piranha, the Corman produced Piranha. Joe Dante directed, so Alligator from 1980 is a great film. Alligator 2 is a suck film. Okay. And I do not recommend it to anybody. It's just really, oh my God. It's cringy. It's not very well done. And there you go. I just thought I'd point that out because it's now on Tubi and you might be thinking, whoa, Alligator 2. Well, I really loved Alligator. I'm sure this sequel will be good. No. They waited 11 years. I don't know why, but they did. And they should have waited like another 100 years. Okay. That's what I'm saying to you right now because it sucks. Okay. Fortunately, we rebound. Okay, folks, with Punisher Warzone. My good fiends, if you have not seen the Punisher Warzone, now I got to tell you, I like this film a lot. As a matter of fact, I think this film is, as far as a comic book adaptation goes, consider that, going from comic book to film. This is one of the best Marvel adaptations ever made. I don't say that lightly either. Just watch it and see how it's done. I think the translation is beautiful. Ray Stevenson is the Punisher. I'm not taking anything away from the other guy. the first Punisher, he was really good. Thomas Jane, who was really good too. I liked him as the Punisher. Thought he was good. Ray Stevenson just brings another level of punishment to the Punisher. This film is so fun. It's got so much going for it. The dynamics are incredible. The characters are so good in this film. The acting, they just all push it right to the edge. I've seen this film several times. Let's put it that way. As it says, based on the Marvel Comics character, Frank the Punisher Castle must evade capture and certain death when an old enemy returns for revenge. I think they nailed it, folks, with the Punisher Warzone. I only wish that after this film, Ray Stevenson did another Punisher film. I don't know what happened. I don't know why they didn't do another Punisher with him in it. Hell if I know. But, put in your 2 cents in the chat. And we'll take a look soon at that. But this is a really great comic book adaptation. It just doesn't mess around. They've got all of the elements covered in this particular film. And I highly recommend it. It is on Tubi. It was on Tubi before. They took it off of Tubi. It's back on Tubi. And I highly recommend it. Of course, it goes without saying, my good fiends, Taxi Driver from 1976, starring what was in reality a still sane Robert De Niro. Yeah, I don't know what happened to that guy, but he kind of lost his fucking mind. In any case, this film, Martin Scorsese film from 1976, Taxi Driver, I consider to personally to be one of Scorsese's greatest films. It may be his greatest film. And he's made a lot of good freaking movies. I think you would all agree. This one is on another level. There's something about this film. Obviously, the acting, good Lord, you got De Niro, Jodie Foster in a really tricky role, pun intended. Sybil Shepherd, Albert Brooks, Harvey Keitel, who is just such a sleazy ass pimp in this film. Everything about Taxi Driver is stunning. You know, it's like you're I don't know. Yeah, I saw this in the theater. I don't know if I saw it in 1976, but it was probably later. I mean, I was like 13 or something. So I don't think I saw it in the theater, but I saw it definitely a few years later, probably 78, 79 in the theater. And I was totally blown away. I've seen it many, many times. I know a lot of you guys have seen this film over and over again. The special makeup effects, of course, by the great, perhaps the greatest, Dick Smith. And man, when all hell breaks loose in this film, it breaks loose. It's just, it's still a shocker to this day. That proves something, right? I mean, when things go down, it's pretty hardcore, folks, you know, in comparison to anything I've seen in modern cinema that just try to use shock for the sake of shock. That's not how to do it. You know, if you want to create a long-lasting impression, watch Taxi. If you want to make a film like this, watch Taxi Driver like 50 times, and you might figure it out. Incredible film. It is absolutely brand new on Tubi. Can't recommend it enough. If you by chance have not seen that film, warning, it is ultra violent and it is very graphic. There is no doubt about that. So, you know, get ready for a bloody massacre. Let's put it that way. It is just freaking great. As I was saying, we're going to go kind of all over the place, at least initially here, before we get to the hardcore 70s and 80s stuff. They've got Hot Tub Time Machine back on Tubi, folks, from 2010 with John Cusack, another guy that kind of lost his freaking mind, but he's still great in this. All of the guys, Rob Corddry is so freaking awesome in this film. The whole cast. Are you kidding me? It is a comedic tour de force here. You got Cusack, Rob Corddry, Craig Robinson, who is hilarious, Crispin Glover, the guy with the arm. The whole arm thing is just fantastic. And of course, Chevy Chase. It's so good. This film it's one of those films that it takes us back to the 80s, because that's kind of, I'm not trying to give away anything, but Hot Tub Time Machine, these guys in modern day, they find themselves back in the 80s as their young selves, as their teenage selves. And for a ton of people watching this show right now, if you haven't seen this film, you might want to see it. Now, that being said, a lot of the stuff that we see in the film that's, you know, takes place in the 80s, yes, I think it's pretty accurate. It's not a lot of the stuff that I was into or hung out. Look, I wasn't into a lot of heavy metal hair bands. That wasn't really my scene. That's kind of big in here. As a matter of fact, Poison, it's kind of a thing in this film. There's other stuff, you know. I'm not going to give away anything, but the feel of it, you know, like putting you back into the 80s with various things that are going on. Of course, the way that people dressed, stuff that you would see on television during that time, mannerisms, the way people, you know, like just, you know, colloquial English at that time, and so forth. They pretty much nailed it. They nailed it with Hot Tub Time Machine. It's just a lot of fun. That's all I'm saying. Highly recommended. It is now on Tubi. Check it out. If you just want a good time, a great laugh, you should check out Hot Tub Time Machine. That's it. It's just a really good comedy that will probably keep you smiling for a few hours. Anyways. Unfortunately, that cannot be said about Children of the Night, folks. What the hell was this? I don't know. 1991. What? I'm not even sure. You know, okay. First off, let's check it out. Children of the Night, 1991. When a vampire is freed from his long imprisonment in an underground crypt, an unsuspecting idyllic town becomes the target of his bloodlust. Starring Karen Black, right? Garrett Morris is also in this film, Amy Dolan's, right? And I'm going, okay, I'm going to watch this. I've never heard of it. I've never even seen it. Why? How did I miss this film from 1991? So I started watching it, and like 40 minutes into it, I was like, oh yeah, now I know why I missed this film. It's unwatchable shite. That's basically why I missed it, folks. So there you go. That's Children of the Night. Here we go. Getting into the 80s, folks. Blue Velvet. Yeah, she wore blue velvet. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. David Lynch. Saw this in the theater. I'm sure a lot of you saw this in the theater. I probably saw it a few times in the theater. It's one of those movies. Laura Dern, Dennis Hopper, Kyle MacLachlan, Isabella Rossellini, David Lynch directing. If you haven't seen it, it is now on Tubi. I applaud Tubi for getting this film on Tubi. You know, it's a cinematic masterpiece. And one of the things about Blue Velvet, and some of you may agree with this statement, okay, is that it's an artful film. I'm not saying it's an art house film, although it has some of those elements to it. It's kind of like, I would call it a horror drama thriller. They say thriller, drama, mystery. Okay. There are horror elements to it. But there's also an exploitation side to it. And when you watch Dennis Hopper's character, I think you know what I'm saying. Like the people he hangs out with, his mannerisms and everything, and the way that those are shot by Lynch. There is this kind of 80s exploitation or 70s, 80s exploitation feel to this film, you know, and that's not a bad thing, folks. I'm saying that it works. It makes Blue Velvet what it is. And I am so glad it is on Tubi. Highly recommended. Another one now, switching to comedy again. 1988, folks. I'm going to get you, sucker. Wayans. Thank God for old Wayans stuff, man. Keenan Ivory Wayans. Of course, Bernie Casey is in this. This one's just over the top hilarity. It is such a great freaking comedy. I'm going to get you, sucker. 1988. When soldier Jack Spade learns that his brother Junebug overdosed on gold chains and died, he returns to take down the local chain lord responsible. Yes, you heard that right. And it is just, it's such a great send-up of all blaxploitation films of the 70s. That's what it is. This is a total send-up of blaxploitation films of the 1970s. And it is hilarious, guys. This is back when, the Wayans brothers were just great. I don't know, man. Those guys were fantastic. I love the movies they did. I love the series, of course, Living Color. All that stuff, man. Really great. I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker is just, I don't know. It's another one that you'll be dying of laughter. I'm telling you, it is just a gut buster. It is really a gut buster. Let me get back to the chat because I know a few people have probably chimed in with some opinions on the first round of Tubi. Oh, there we go. Werewolf says, I have an old Goodfellas DVD. You have to flip the disc half the way through. Holy Toledo. Joe says, Taxi Driver and The Punisher looks like a great crossover. That would be a great double feature. I think that would be a good... I mean, okay, The Punisher is definitely more comic book, as it should be, because it's a comic book adaptation. Whereas Taxi Driver is like real street level, grittiness type of thing. I mean, but I think it would be a good combo. I think that would be a fine date night. Hey, honey, let's watch Taxi Driver followed by The Punisher. I think that would be the last date you went on with that particular woman, unless she was into it, which then you would be a lucky chap right there. Steve says, I got a couple of horror omnibuses and horror tales with 300 plus pages in them. Sadly, they are printed a bit faint. Do you know who published those, Steve Harrison? Steve says, also cut down inside to about pocket size. Okay, that's blasphemy, Steve Harrison. I'm just saying that right out. Blasphemy. Michael Taylor, Peter Boyle, Jodie Foster, Taxi Driver. Yes. And they're all freaking great. Peter Boyle has basically kind of he's only in one or two scenes, but boy, is he great. Martin Scorsese has a cameo. Yes, he does. He's going to kill that bitch. Harvey Keitel. Well, yeah, Keitel is the pimp. So he's in it, kind of throughout. Werewolf, yes, remember he told Travis to drive him to the place. Yeah, his wife was having an affair. I'm going to kill that bitch, as I recall. God, that's such a great, creepy scene with Scorsese. The whole film is like that. There's nothing wasted in that film, folks. Every scene means something and it's building to something. That's the genius of Taxi Driver. FST George, I watched that earlier this week, reminded me of John Carpenter's The Thing. Also, they live to some degree. What movie was that? FST George? With Rodriguez. Okay, now you guys are just all over the place. Trailer, Macon County Line. Now, there's another classic. God, there's so many. Kevin just brought up a great one. Macon County Line is just one of those. That is so good. Warzone was grittier than the series. Hell yes. Man, Ray Stevenson. Steve, yes, Harvey Keitel was in it. Forgot it. Oh, yeah. Thomas Jane and black hair. Dolph Lundgren. No. Okay. Thomas Jane, yes, he was really good. Ray Stevenson, hell yes. Dolph Lundgren, no. Nope. I gotta say no to that. Foster was a kid in Taxi Driver. Might have been one of her first roles. Although she was also in Bugsy Malone. I don't know when that happened. I think Warzone was too gritty and pulled in no young 13 under audience. I think producers expected a Spider-Man audience. Yeah, I think you're right, Steve Harrison. Foster made for TV stuff. First big time movie, maybe. Yeah, she was in Bugsy Malone. Yes. You are correct, Werewolf. Foster is great in True Detective season in progress. I've not seen that one. Mike, he lost his mind in that movie as well. Yeah, but you know, the thing is, Michael Taylor, he was just acting. That's the thing. There's acting and then there's the reality, which is even scarier. That guy's just lost his shit. Steve Harrison, Taxi Driver has a shocker of an epilogue scene. You will never see it coming. Yeah. God damn. What a sequence. What a great film. The whole thing is just building to such a unbelievable reveal. It's incredible. Alice doesn't live here anymore. Yep, that was another one. Kevin says, I believe she was the little girl who lives down the lane. You hit it, Kevin. Yes, she was. And also, as it's mentioned before, I believe Bugsy Malone. I think that was before Taxi Driver. God, that would be weird if she did that after Taxi Driver. Jesus, I don't know. I'm not sure, but I think it was before. And Little Girl Who Lives Down the Lane as well. At the end, he got his sanity back. I was surprised. Werewolf, she was also in Bonanza and Gunsmoke. Googling, she must be 98 years old. She's in her 60s. But last time I saw photos of her, she looked really good, actually. And she did a movie with Mel Gibson not too long ago, a weird comedy where he's got like this animal. He's a ventriloquist. Steve says, Children of the Night looks like a Twilight Zone prequel gone wrong. Garrett Morris of the Stuff. Yep, that's him. He doesn't have a big role either. I'm sure he's probably glad that he didn't. Let's put it that way. Tall, short, fat, or thin, wherever, whether you're a boy or a girl. First Man on Mars is the movie for you. Thank you. PBR Street Gang. I appreciate that, my good man. Thank you for that shout out. I'll get that link in the chat too, folks. Blue Velvet is classic. It is so good. It's a landmark film. You know, a lot of these. Look, Taxi Driver, Blue. There are several landmark films in tonight's show. You know, Taxi Driver, Blue Velvet. I think Theater of Blood, which we're about to get to, is a landmark film. Films that are, you know, set themselves above and beyond the normal genre films. You know, there's a few of them that are definitely in that league. Children of the Night, yes. Lugosi quote as Dracula. I'm going to get you as to blaxploitation what Airplane was to disaster flicks. That's exactly what they were getting at. You know? That's precisely it. And they hit it. I'm going to get you, sucker. Yes. Easy Comic Reader. I love that film. You know, I'm so glad that they have it on Tubi now. It's a laugh riot, folks. If you want to, once again, look, if you just want to laugh and have a good time, Watch I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker, and Hot Tub Time Machine. That's a double. There's a combo right there for an evening of comedy, you know? Right there, guys. Platform Goldfish Shoes. Steve Harrison, you've hit it. Gotham City Comics is here. Good evening, Gotham City Comics. Werewolf by Lunchtime is saying howdy, Gotham. Michael Taylor is saying Marlon Wayans almost played Robin, and Bill Murray almost played Batman. Oh, I see. Robin Williams almost played Robin. Bill Murray almost played Batman. I would like to see that. I would like to see that combo. Apex Comics is here. Hello, Apex Comics. How you doing? It came from another world. Okay, Apex, what are you saying? Was that R-rated? Was that? Hold on. That was R-rated. Shit. Wow. It might have worked. I don't know. Possibly. PG-13 Punisher with water pistol. Steve says Horror Tales Omnibus on Amazon, but no recommendation. Published by Dizzy Angel. Huh. Oh, yes, of course. I get you. I get you. Michael Taylor, the guy that played Punisher in the Netflix show, did a good job. I don't know that. I'm not aware of that show. Taxi Driver was Iris. What? Huh? Okay. All right. We've talked about that. Where's my bourbon, bitch? Yes. I think everybody, it seems like in our group here, Blue Velvet is universally loved. And it should be, because it's a freaking great movie. It's such a weird movie. You know, it's David Lynch, right? And it's not a mainstream. I wouldn't call Blue Velvet a mainstream film, although it got wide release. It was in tons of theaters, you know, popular film. He was nominated for Best Director for Blue Velvet, you know. But I still would not call that film mainstream by any stretch of the imagination. It's pretty bizarre, and that's the great thing. He was exposing people to stuff that they just had never seen before. You know, a way of looking at cinema, of experiencing a story that only Lynch could do. That's the thing about Blue Velvet. I think that's really that was it, man, wasn't it? It was Blue Velvet, and then everything else, Twin Peaks. In Twin Peaks, he refused to change. That was the thing I loved about David Lynch, is that he just remained weird. The guy, all of his movies are delightfully strange. You got Fire Walk with Me, of course, Twin Peaks, the series. Also, Mulholland Drive. God, I love that film. Mulholland Drive is just, it's all a dream, folks. It's all a dream. The motherfucker just wrote a story about having a dream, and that's the movie, right? And it's an incredible film. So, David, look, let me put it. Here's to David Lynch. All righty. Where are we here? I like Hot Tub Time Machine. Yeah, that was hilarious. 1981 Bill Murray Batman. Thank you, Steve Harrison. I think I need to order that. No, don't do it. FST George, he's saying don't. He's not recommending it. And from what he's saying, do not do it. You're going to be sorely disappointed. You should get the IDW books on the Erie Publications. Okay? That's, I want to say it's IDW and Yo Books, but it's weird shit. I've got them. I've got the books. I'll have to bring them out. They're much better. From what Steve was saying there, these things suck. They're bad repros. Yeah, forewarned. They're small. In the first place, they're brought down to like a little book size. These are magazine size. This is the size you need. And that's how IDW reproduced them, and they reproduced them well. Magazine size, the way that they were originally done. So don't get that paperback crap. I think you will be really disappointed. Okay, what? Blue Velvet was a hit like Silence of the Lambs. Again, Jodie Foster. What? She wasn't... What? Okay, she wasn't in Blue Velvet. Apex, it had campy written all over it. Oh, the Bill Murray Batman? I would have loved to have seen it. I said, where's my bourbon, bitch, to my wife, and she hasn't spoke to me since. As soon as she starts talking to me, I will say it again. Oh, werewolf. That is true comedy gold, my good man. I can't speak for Blue Velvet. Never saw it. It's on Tubi. Michael Taylor, you got no excuse now. It's free on Tubi. Check it out. Damn, I appreciate the heads up, good sir. Yes, yes. Stay away, FST George. Look, I will tell you the better one. I've got it. It's shit. It's Erie Publications. You might want to put in search in Amazon, Erie Publications book. It should pop right up. And it's from IDW. And I believe it was Mike Howlett that wrote, that was the editor for the book. Lost Highway is another good one. All of his films. I liked Eraserhead. Of course, Lynch did Eraserhead and Dune prior to Blue Velvet. Yeah. And I love both of those, too. I do like the Dune. I like his Dune. Okay, you have to acknowledge the special effects at the time, but I still like it. I've seen it several times. I don't know. There's something about it that I really dig, And, of course, Eraserhead is just classic weird horror. It's so wonderfully bizarre. Oh, good old David Lynch. Man, he's, I don't know. He did I guess, what was the film? Wild? Something Wild? What was the one with Nicolas Cage and Laura Dern, right? Wild on, I don't know, Something Wild. Whatever the hell that freaking movie. That was probably the most mainstream thing he ever did. Right there. That film with Nicolas Cage and Laura Dern. And it was pretty straightforward, I gotta say. Neil Sanzari is here. Hello, Neil. How are you doing? What can you say about Inland Empire? That's another dream of his too. Yes, I liked it too. He was really pushing the limits on Inland Empire, folks. If you haven't seen it, highly recommended that you do. There is a connection with Inland Empire and I believe Mulholland Drive, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, they're dream films, right? They're literally, that's what they are. But Laura Dern is great in Inland Empire. I really liked it. It's another one you get sucked into. David Lynch films are films that you get sucked into his reality. And when you walk out of the theater, if you're sober, you feel like you're on drugs. That's you feel like you're on acid or you're coming off of shrooms or something. That's the Lynch effect, folks. Steve, now that I'm hearing so many good things, I need to watch it. Magazine horror. I saw Eraserhead in a tiny cinema in Bonn, Germany. It had maybe 50 seats. So cool. Yeah, that, coincidentally, Werewolf, I saw Eraserhead for the first time in a cinema in Newport Beach, California. It was the Balboa Cinema. And this was a real small cinema, too. I think it was 100-seater, right? And it was packed. And I took this girl. She just totally did not get it at all. Let's put it this way. The date didn't go too well. Let's just kind of put it that way. FSC George, I tried to watch Eraserhead and watched Mulholland Drive and can't say I loved them, but I still give Blue Velvet a shot. Weird is good. Yeah, Blue Velvet, I would call Blue Velvet more accessible definitely way more accessible than Eraserhead, and probably more than Mulholland Drive even. I think Blue Velvet works itself out as this kind of there's a crime thriller aspect to it. Really, there is a crime thriller aspect to it, and everything comes together. I think the thing is you have like characters like Dennis Hopper's character and Dean Stockwell's character. Dean Stockwell in Blue Velvet, that should have been an Academy Award nomination. It should have been. It's freaking awesome. He just, it's like, you're so goddamn smooth, Frank. Remember the whole, it's just so great. I don't know. I got to watch it again. It's been a few years. God, incredible. He does the Sandman, right? He sings the song. So fucking good. PBR says, the old school director's cut of Dune was great. Too bad they edited the hell out of the theater release. Not a fan of the new Dune. I am not either, PBR. I don't know what the hell people are on about with this new Dune. I saw the first part. I mean, it's not bad. I watched it. I was like, well, that's pretty good. Yeah, when you have $100 million budget or whatever the hell it is, it better be good. That's all I'm saying. It better damn well be watchable, but I didn't find it particularly great at all. Werewolf by Lunchtime made me laugh out loud. Yes. Wild at Heart. Thank you. Wild at Heart. That's the film with Nicolas Cage and Laura Dern. Neil says Wild at Heart. Yes. Wild Hearts. Wild Farts. Who the hell knows? Wild at Farts. Michael Taylor, NYPD Blues, now on Tubi. Highly recommended. Wicked Game was the song with that from the flick with Cage. Yeah. Wild Farts. Wicked Flames from the Ass. Wild at Heart was good. Yeah, it was. It was good. Pretty. I would call it pretty damn mainstream for David Lynch. Pabst Blue Ribbon beer. He's just so good. So damn good. My German girlfriend at the time took me. She opened my eyes to a few things. No, not those things. Laura Dern, Bruce Dern's daughter, you got it. Blue Velvet, Lost Highway, Dune, Fire Walk with Me are my favorites. Yes, they're great. Speaking of Bruce Dern, The Driver was a great... Oh, The Driver. Yeah, the original film. Now, okay, Bruce Dern was in that, but wasn't... who was the other guy that was the actual driver? It wasn't Bruce Dern. Ah, man. Lost Highway was so Lynch. Wild Farts, is that on Tube? Oh, shit. All right, guys, let's get back to it, shall we? Oh, what? Wait a second. Got one more. Robert Blake was perfect casting. Yeah, he was absolutely fantastic in Lost Highway. That was one of my favorite things about that film. Robert Blake, death. He was just so freaking good. Really quite good indeed. All right, folks. Let's get back to it. And, of course, we start off into the 70s here. Good Lord, it's Theater of Blood, 1973. I love this film. I kind of consider Theater of Blood a bit of a horror comedy. There's more horror and drama to it than comedy, but boy, is there some sweet comedy in this film. Dark comedy, obviously, when I talk about comedy for Theater of Blood. But in any case, Theater of Blood, 1973, determined to wreak havoc determined to wreak vengeance on his critics. A Shakespearean actor kills them in a series of set-piece murders based on scenes from the Bard's plays. Yes. God, what a cast. Vincent Price, Diana Rigg, Ian Hendry, Milo O'Shea, Eric Sykes. Directed by Douglas Hickox. I'm not familiar with his other work. I'd have to IMDb him. But what a masterful piece of filmmaking that Theater of Blood is. It is simply a great freaking movie. And I have the trailer.
Now is the winter of our discontent.
Critics are likely to make enemies, Inspector.
Inspector, are you saying that some lunatic in the theater might be trying to kill us all?
The play fails. Career's ruined. Plenty of motivation there, you think.
We therefore commit his body to the ground.
At last, a headline.
His head cut off.
He's after you all. You deliberately humiliated me before the press, my public, and my peers.
Shylock may claim a pound of flesh.
Surely the entire might of the London police force can prevent us from being killed.
We shall see. I will grind your bones to dust.
What's the next murder, Inspector?
Intended murder, you mean, Sergeant? Stop, I haven't finished yet. One is irresistibly reminded of a ham sandwich. My reputation.
Vincent Price, folks. One of the greats, truly one of the greats, in my opinion, in acting. And just across the board, obviously in horror, no doubt about that, but I consider him just truly a great actor all the way around. You know, he could hold his own with anybody, in my opinion. And Theater of Blood is truly a fantastic film. Highly recommended. Folks, it's on Tubi. Check it out. I also kind of recommend The Giant Spider Invasion from 1975 for different reasons. And that different reason really is unintentional comedy. Okay. The Giant Spider Invasion, 1975. When a black hole in space opens, two NASA scientists must find a way to stop gigantic flesh-eating spiders from eating their way through Wisconsin. Yes, folks, you heard that right. And the only thing I can tell you, folks, is that if you have any interest in seeing this film, go to YouTube and just look up Giant Spider Invasion trailer. That'll kind of prep you for what's to come with the feature. Okay. Enough said on that. Okay, here's another doozy from 1984, Hard Rock Zombies. Good Lord, what the hell? No, is what I'm saying right here. It's just really quite cringeworthy. Members of a hard rock band murdered by Nazi sex cultists are brought back from the dead to take their revenge and give the performance of a lifetime. Now, it sounds a lot better than it actually is, okay? In reality, it's just, whoa. I don't know. Hard schlock zombies, I think, is more apropos for this film. It's just, God, good Lord. So we're just going to skip that. Now, I know some people remember this, some people don't. I remember it when I was a wee kid. Oh, do I remember this? Lidsville, folks. Lidsville is the kookiest. Lidsville is the creepiest. No, it didn't go like that, but it kind of, in retrospect, was. Had some creepy things going on with it. But it's also rather hilarious. It's now on Tubi. Folks, Lidsville. Okay. After sneaking backstage at a magic show, Mark accidentally falls into a top hat and finds himself in a new dimension filled with talking hats. Okay. Yes, in other words, folks, somebody gave him the brown acid. Let's put it that way. Lidsville, 1971, starring Charles Nelson Riley, Butch Patrick, yes, from the Munsters, and Joy Campbell. Billy Hayes is also in this. 1971 series. I don't know. Let's see. We got season 1. There is season 1 now on Tubi. Watch one of them. Okay. You may just suffer some flashbacks, if you know what I'm saying. So I'm just warning you right now. It's that trippy. I mean, look at that box art. They know exactly where they're, it's also called Lidsville. Okay. As in 2 kilo Lidsville. I mean, I think somebody was having a laugh with this series. That's what I'm saying. Now, this is a puzzler. I'm not quite sure what the hell. Okay, 1985's The Galaxy Invader. This is a Don Dohler film. This poster, this image, I don't know where the hell they got this from. It has nothing to do with the film. I've never seen it before. It's like they just thought, hey, this looks good. We'll use it for the cover. I don't know, man. They really screwed that one up royally. In any case, Galaxy Invader, 1985, directed by Don Dohler. After a spaceship crashes in a forest, a group of people from a nearby town hunt for it. Some want to rescue it, while others want to profit from it. It's The Galaxy Invader. Don Dohler. I recommend it. It's a Don Dohler film. That means DIY, do it yourself, no budget filmmaking. 1985. You gotta love it. Next one is a gem here, folks. I love this one. I think it's my favorite Jekyll and Hyde, personally. 1968, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll, if you will, and Mr. Hyde, starring the one and only Jack Palance, who I believe, in my personal opinion, his Mr. Hyde is the best Mr. Hyde I've seen in cinema. I'm just going to say that. I'm not saying his Dr. Jekyll is the best. I'm saying his Mr. Hyde is. His Dr. Jekyll is fine, you know, but holy crap. This was a film that affected me as a kid. I saw it, of course, 1968. They kept replaying the hell out of this film for years, right? You know, on your Saturday creature features and stuff, you'd see this a lot. And it definitely had an effect on me. He scared the shit out of me as Mr. Hyde, no doubt about it. Quite vicious, and just really well done. Highly recommended, folks. It is now on Tubi. If you have not seen this adaptation, and as they say, a scientist experiments with the potion that reveals his dark and murderous alter ego in this acclaimed adaptation of the Robert Louis Stevenson classic. And it is acclaimed. It freaking kicks ass, man. It's really quite good. Highly recommended. And a logical follow-up to Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, of course, has to be Dagmar's Hot Pants Incorporated from 1971. Oh, God. Ready to quit the business and get married. A call girl tries to close out her affairs during her last day on the job before going to the altar. Yeah, you heard that right, folks. And guess what? I've got a little eensy-beensy clip from Dagmar's. This is just a 20-second clip here.
Tell me, you're not afraid of sex, are you?
Dagmar's Hot Pants Inc. What a business.
I'm waiting.
Dig that 70s tune. Come on, man. Classic. Good Lord, folks. That's Dagmar's Hot Pants Incorporated. Okay. It's on Tubi. Yep. Believe it or not. Also, Stewardess School from 1986. Now we are moving into the 80s with this one, but what the hell? It's Stewardess School, folks. Misfit students at a zany flight attendant school bumble their ways through turbulent trainings, saucy shenanigans, okay, folks, and high-flying adventures. Oh, yes. There you go, right there. You know, and yeah, Sandahl Bergman is in this freaking movie, folks. Sandahl Bergman. Yep, you heard that right. She is in Stewardess School. Oh, yes. It's a double feature from 1986. Good Lord. Huh. Oh, boy. Good Lord. Folks, it's Beaster Day. This film brings a tear to my eye. Both because it's painful to watch and it is hilarious. If you have not seen Beaster Day, a.k.a. Here Comes Peter Cottonhell, you've got to see it to freaking believe it, okay? It's just one of those movies. It's from 2014, but these guys got the exploitation thing down. They know exactly what the hell they're doing. It reminds me of a 70s flick, right? Beaster Day, 2014. A giant bloodthirsty rabbit is killing the locals in a town. When the mayor refuses to act, survival lies in the hands of two unlikely heroes. Okay, folks, get ready. All right, I've got the trailer, and we're going to watch it right the hell now.
Yeah, well, it's okay here. Anything on this guy.
All right. One question at a time. You, the broad in the front. What's up?
Mr. Mayor, what are you going to do about all the wild animal attacks that have been going on?
Wild animal attacks? More like wild rumors, man. It's just a few farm tool accidents, that's all.
Mr. Mayor, how does an electric rig put a body 20 feet into a tree?
Are you a physicist? Are you a physicist, man? It's just one of those science things, man, that nobody knows. It's like the last number of pi or how they get the stuffing in those Twinkies, man. It's just unanswerable.
Oh, darling, what's wrong? Did you see a spider?
I saw a severed foot.
Well, maybe someone just lost it.
What do you plan on doing about Roger?
Well, I don't know, Doug. What do you expect me to do about Roger?
The end of days are coming soon, my friends. Once men started marrying men, that was it. It wasn't meteors that killed the dinosaur. They all turned gay.
Beaster Day, folks, put it on your list. I swear to God, if you want a great laugh, did you see that freaking, I mean, it's just classic. The freaking monster, the giant rabbit thing, puppet. It's too good. The guy, the mayor of the town who's like this drug-addled hippie, and he's like, he sees the woman, the reporter. He's like, okay, yeah, what do you want, broad? What? The broad in the front, what do you want? It's like that all the way through this freaking movie. It's so damn defensive, okay? But yet it's hilarious. It's Beaster Day. It'll put a smile on your face and a spark in your step. Let's put it that way, folks. Beaster Day. I can't recommend it enough. It's a no-budget gem. And it does have that total 70s, creature feature drive-in type of mentality going for it. I love it, man. I love this film. Check out Beaster Day if you dare. Also, I've got this on DVD, believe it or not. Don't let the river beast get you. Okay, that's what I'm saying right now. It is a horror comedy. And once again, it's got a hilarious creature in it. In this campy throwback to 1950s monster films, a local tutor tries to stop a vicious water monster from terrorizing a small New England town. And it's just hilarious. It's got a funny monster, a lot of really hilarious dialogue. It's a no-budget film. And, yeah, there you go. Another one if you want to have a good time. As a matter of fact, I think Don't Let the River Beast Get You and Beaster Day would be a fabulous combo for a Saturday night. There ain't no doubt about that. But let's go back in time to the 70s and 80s, folks. We got to do that. And we're going to do that right now with the Swinging Cheerleaders. Yes, from 1974, a college co-ed goes undercover as a cheerleader to expose the wrongs of the... What? Okay, hold on. Let me read that again. A college co-ed goes undercover as a cheerleader to expose the wrongs of pom-pom waving. Instead, she finds love, friends, and the story of a lifetime. Yes. Okay, there's TNA in this film, folks. That's it. That's as far as I'm going to go with it. Don't look for any kind of meaningful plot or film, but you will get some TNA action from Swinging Cheerleaders. And, of course, you will get plenty of that, too, from 1983's Getting It On. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about right now. Getting It On. 1983. When thousands of dollars worth of video equipment falls into the hands of a high school student, he turns his peeping Tom habit into a full-time job. Yes, folks, this is where upskirts happened. Right here. In Getting It On. And, whatever the hell. It's a Porky's type of thing. And not without its, it's got great TNA in it. There's no doubt about that. And there are some funny scenes. That's pretty much what it's got going for it. Now, check out this last quartet of beauties, folks. All 1970s. Whew. Good Lord. Good Lord. I don't know if we can get to the end in one piece, but we'll try. Sunset Cove, 1978. A bunch of determined beach-loving teenagers band together to keep their favorite playground from being bulldozed to make way for condominiums. There you go. It's an Al Adamson film, folks. Yes, that sleazy king of no-budget filmmaking from the 1970s and maybe the 1980s. And I just happen to have a little trailer for you on that.
Once upon a time, there was a beach.
You were at the beach in this van at Wayward Cove yesterday afternoon.
No way, Craig. My grandmother took the van to Bonneville for the time trials yesterday.
And there were some kids trying to have a good time.
I sure would like to get some of that myself.
As only kids can.
It's my father. Listen, you gotta get out of here. You gotta get out of here.
Okay.
Look, go before I get killed. Wait, you can't go like that.
But then some developers came along.
Pacific Towers
with their fast talk and big deals.
is not just another run-of-the-mill high-rise.
And tried to take over the beach.
41 grand, storied, gleaming, glistening tribute to mankind.
Get your ass off our beach!
So there were cops. And there was trouble.
One ticket wasn't enough for you today, huh?
Knock yourself out, man. I need some toilet paper.
Someday I'm gonna shoot your nuts off.
Fight for your beach!
Look, we've got to get this beach cleared.
Have pride in your coastline!
You know what a shutdown could cost us?
And some kids just don't give up. Sunset Cove. From Cal-Am Artists.
Folks, I recommend Sunset Cove. It's actually pretty funny. What can I say? Obviously there's a lot of TNA in it. It is a classic 70s exploitation film. But there are some really funny things in it. And just, I don't know. There's something about it. It's perhaps a little more cohesive than a lot of these exploitation films like this were from the 70s. So recommend it, really. And it's on Tubi now. Sunset Cove, folks. And then we have 1972's The Hitchhikers. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's The Hitchhikers, folks, from 1972. The 1972 grindhouse classic about a pregnant teen who is kicked out of her house and joins a band of alluring women who lure and rob motorists. Yep, starring Misty Rowe. My good fiends. Yep, Misty Rowe. She's in this freaking film. And then if you scroll down, you will also find such 70s classics as Teenage Hitchhikers from 1974, The Big Dollhouse from 1971, and The Teacher from 1974. Okay? That's what I'm talking about right there. All 1970s exploitation films now on Tubi. Good Lord. And that brings us to a film that I really like. Hollywood Boulevard, 1976. This is just a really good comedy. And yeah, what can be said? Okay, in the first place, it was directed by Alan Arkush and Joe Dante, right? Starring Mary Warrenoff. Oh, yes, Mary Warrenoff. Paul Bartel, just great. Candice Rylson is in this film as well. And as they say, a Midwestern ingenue, Candice Rylson, moves to Hollywood and rivals a B-movie queen, played by Mary Warrenoff, in low-budget quickies. It is hilarious. Dick Miller is in this film, too. Okay? It's Hollywood Boulevard, folks, the street where starlets are made. And you got it. I got a short trailer for you on this.
Is this Miracle Pictures?
Welcome to Miracle Pictures, where they make a picture a week. And if it's a good picture, it's a miracle.
Hi, I'm Candy.
You're an actress. Well, you came to the right place, kid. Hollywood Boulevard. The street where starlets are made. Overnight.
In this scene, your motivation is to stay alive. Bill!
He's dead for real. TG, you just don't understand. People are dying.
Hey, that's showbiz.
Everybody's doing it now.
Let's do it.
More of that.
Anything can happen on Hollywood Boulevard.
Hollywood.
Nice trailer. Great film. Highly recommended, folks. It's just such a great send-up of, off Hollywood productions. I love it. Mary Warrenoff is so damn good in this film. And of course, as you saw, there were a couple of cars that were used from Death Race 2000, Corman's film. They used a bunch of stuff from Corman's films, props and so forth. In this film, there's a Godzilla, as Michael Taylor pointed out, that's in this. Dick Miller, he's so great in this. Paul Bartel. It's funny as hell. Highly recommended. Hollywood Boulevard, folks. You'll have a great time. It's fantastic. Okay, and last but, possibly least, I don't know. I have not seen this film. I've only seen a few minutes from it. It's just weird. It's from 1972. The Curse of the Headless Horseman. Yes. 1972. A stoner med student and his pals move into the Wild West theme park he just inherited, only to find a headless phantom horseman already lives there. What? Okay. I've only seen, there's a trailer supposedly on Tubi. It's not a trailer. It's just a scene. It's like 2 minutes from the film. Doesn't really tell me much. It's just this woman being chased by this headless horseman. So I really don't know, but it stars Ultraviolet. Yes, folks, let's take a look at that. Ultraviolet was also in Simon, King of the Witches in 1971. So that might give you an idea. I don't know. I don't know who Ultraviolet is. But he or she is in this film. And it's a cult film. Let's put it that way. I don't know. It's on Tubi, miraculously. I've never even heard of this movie before. is what I'm saying, from 1972, Curse of the Headless Horseman. That's a new one on me. That's all I'm saying. I'll probably get around to watching it. I don't know when, but probably. All right. Good Lord. That was almost like a marathon, folks, right there. That was 2 hours of Tubi alone. Okay. I don't know if you guys realize that, but good Lord. That was a hell of a thing. Hold on one sec. Okay, there's that. What the hell? Okay. You gotta be in there, right? Oh, there you are. And finally. God. All right. Oh boy. I think that's it, folks. As far as the fuck. There it goes. All right. That's good. All right. I meant to do this earlier, but at least I'm doing it now. La-da-dee, la-da-da. There we go. All right. There's First Man on Mars, my feature film, my good fiends. I'm dropping the link in the chat. Now, we've just seen a ton of 1970s and 80s exploitation films. That is exactly what the point of First Man on Mars is. It is my homage, my satirical homage to 1970s drive-in creature features. And I shot this on 16 millimeter film, folks. I was not BSing around. You know, it has the authentic look and feel of a 1970s drive-in creature feature. That's what I'm saying right now. And it is on sale on eBay and on my website. But this is the eBay link, as you can see in the description. If you want to have a hilarious good time, check out First Man on Mars. It is a signed and numbered Blu-ray. And not only that, when you get it, you have your own number, right? That number gets you automatically entered to win one of 2 movie props used in the film. Okay? Authentic movie props used in the film. So once again, there's the linky right there for you. So check that out. And I don't know if I actually had this on here or not. Maybe not. Oh, it's a miracle. It's a Festivus miracle. There we go. Horror Anthology Movie Volume 1. My good fiends. Renting for $2. It is a 2-hour horror anthology film, primarily with sci-fi horror segments. Okay. That's kind of the angle on this particular volume. And it's been renting really, really well. I'm very pleased with the rentals on Amazon. I highly recommend it. Once again, I'm going to drop this link in the chat. You can't lose for $2, folks. 2 hours, 6 segments. Indie sci-fi horror filmmaking at its best, at its finest. It's Horror Anthology Movie Volume 1. That's what I'm talking about right there. Mosey on over, check it out, rent it. It's $2. Come on. That's what I'm saying right now. So, there you go. Those are my films. Let's get back to the chat before we duck out of here. on this fine and fiendish Friday. Okay, what the hell's going on now? Oopsie. Okay, we still got it. Excellent. I know some people have commented. Robert Blake, perfect casting. Okay, we did that. No eyebrows. He's in a Tubi movie with Elliot Gould. They play vice cops, busting, I think. Robert Blake, Vincent Price is good in any movie. Ryan O'Neal, thank you. Michael Taylor, that is a great film. The Driver, starring Ryan O'Neal. If you haven't seen that flick, folks, check it out. Excellent movie. Machete Maidens for the win. PBR, yes. Giant spiders love Wisconsin cheese. Yes, they do. Steve says Charles Nelson Riley, Ghost in Mr. Miller's TV show. Lidsville, Sid and Marty Krofft, of course. Blake was one of the little rascals. Giant spiders are Wisconsin cheese. Yes. Lidsville, Blast from the Past. Yes, indeed. It's on Tubi, folks. Lidsville. It's the kookiest. Lidsville is the creepiest. Okay, that's what I'm saying right there. Oh, wait a second. PBR says, what? Vincent Price, Christopher Walken, Jack Nicholson. Who is the coolest white man of all the time? Okay. Apex, I remember the Ghost and Miss Muir with Hope Lang, who later appeared in the original Death Wish with Charles Bronson. Yes. Yep. I'd like to check out Dagmar's Hot Pants. Jack Palance was, as Dracula, was also great too. Yes, agreed. I think that was a Dan Curtis production, the Dracula. I liked it a lot. Horror Mike was horrified indeed. Nazi sex cultist. How is that not good? If you're going to be a Nazi, might as well be a sex cult Nazi. You would be surprised, PBR, if you watch that movie. I think you'll have your answer. It's just god-awful. Haven't heard say 2 kilo Lidsville in forever. Oh, the Linda music video I never heard until you played it. Great music video, Mike. Yes, it's fantastic. We're going to lead off with that. Lead out with that, you guys. We're going to do a little Linda by the Starfires. They all turned gay. You guys have got to watch Beaster Day. Put Beaster Day on your list. I swear to God, you will not be disappointed. If you like hilarious no budget horror comedies, and it's really funny. It truly is funny. There's great writing in it. It's just got all kinds of classic elements. These guys know. And you can tell they love 70s and 80s exploitation horror flicks. You can tell it. You can just, you know it. Puppet Monster. Yeah, that rabbit is just hilarious. He's just so funny. Starfire, Linda. Yep, that's the one. Watch Beaster Day on Easter Day. Dracula versus Frankenstein, directed by Al Adamson, right? Yes. Sunset Cove stole that story from the Brady Bunch. All these trailers look amazing. They're all really quite good. Tubi's got them. FST George. It's amazing. Tubi is just, you know, you guys, you hear me touting Tubi all the time, you know. Yeah. And that's because they have movies like this. Who else is going to get some of these movies? Nobody. That's the answer right there. Nobody. It's Tubi. Werewolf says, yeah, that headless phantom horseman is paying rent, so piss off. I was Lowell as you described. Curse of the Headless Horseman. Once again, folks, my film First Man on Mars. I would greatly appreciate it if you went over there and picked yourself up a copy on Blu-ray, signed and numbered by yours truly, Horror Mike. Werewolf says, hurry up and get Famous Mike so I can sell all your signatures I have and get rich. Rich, I tell you, rich. Yes. Also, my film, Horror Anthology Movie, Volume 1 for $2. You can rent it on Amazon. Right there. Good Lord. Apex, old school 16 millimeter film is a treasure. That's it. And Apex, that's what I shot First Man on Mars on. I still have my super 16 millimeter camera, for Christ's sake. Good night, everyone. Thank you, Mike. Thank you for being here. Easy Comic Rita. Great to see you, my good man. $2 make ya holla. ECR, great show as always, Mike and Chet. Have a great weekend. Sunday, nooner, no. Not this Sunday, next Sunday, probably. Michael Taylor. I think Ryan Gosling did an updated version of the dry. Yes, he did. The ultimate would be if Tubi dropped the ads. Yeah, they could offer that too. All right, guys. Look, thank you all for being here. It's been great going through these Tubi films. Fantastic. We're caught up on Tubi at least for a little while now. That's at least until next Friday, where I will obviously have another dozen or so new Tubi films that you're going to have to check out as part of our show. But we did an intensive Tubi lineup tonight because we had to, man. We skipped it last week, so we had to double the Tubi pleasure this week, and so there you go. That was an odyssey. Okay, that was kind of like an odyssey right there, folks, with the Tubi. In any case, everybody have a great weekend. And I'm going to lead you guys out, as I promised, with a little Linda from the Starfires. You guys take care. We'll see you soon.